even if it leads him into the mouth of hell itself. More intriguing still is what the Dreamlord discovers upon his arrival. What does one do when gifted with damnation, and how does one choose upon whom to bestow it? Clutch your armchair tightly, my friends, for this evening's yarn takes us to the precipice of pandemonium and features a cast of deities and demons alike. Enjoy the calm before the storm, for the season...
We on the tubes.
Hello.
Paul, can you hear me all the way over there?
I think we're good.
All right.
I think we're good.
All right. We got the thumbs up with a seal of approval of a Paulville. Troy, you want to start the show?
Yeah, sure. I was just waiting for making sure the show was started first, and then I was going to talk. But yeah. Hey, welcome everybody to Volume 4 of the Sandman, Imperius, Mysterious DreamStream. That's a lot of cat hair on that shirt.
Oh, God.
That's fine.
Thanks for everyone for joining us this fine Wednesday night
Yeah.
at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
You took a break from your sister podcast for this, Troy, and we appreciate it.
I actually just pushed it to last night.
Oh, all right. Well, I still appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I move mountains, you know? I do what I can, you know?
Speaking of moving, Paul, you want to kind of center that up on Troy over there, the close-up camera? Look at that. Look at all that elbow room he's got. We don't need to... Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
A little close. We want Neil in there, too. No. Paul, we have had enough tonight. Covered in hair. Nothing's working. Is this where we close it down? Are we done?
See, now I see why you dropped off after Volume 4. If shit like this happening when you're on your first initial read.
That is right. You think we've done 4 of these, we'd kind of have it down by now. But as it turns out, technology is against us.
Yeah.
Which we should also apologize for our X-Men arcade game live stream that we did or attempted to do last week, but
Not enough bandwidth or something.
the fates are against us. So we'll try that again. Could have been fun. Wasn't fun for anybody.
Nah. Especially since I drove an hour to get there, and then it was like, well, this isn't working. I'm like,
you can drive back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got a special Troy Thux cam tonight.
Oh.
So thanks for pointing that out, Nick. That's gonna be for real.
Very nice.
But yes, today we are, if I can just reiterate, going over Volume 4 of Sandman.
Guys, I had no idea that cat had so much hair to give.
He's a giver.
Keep it over there, please.
It is just
We've
out
all
of
worn
control.
black shirts.
Yeah.
This is also the first stream where I'm not in full character. I'm more of the dream where he's just laid back in a t-shirt.
T-shirt and some jeans.
Yeah.
And his little dream castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hanging.
Kirby's Dreamland.
That actually is great. Where when he needs to make himself look formidable, he is. But when he's home, he's just like lounging around on like his thing with jeans.
And a lot of times
t-shirt.
when he really like pumps up his dream powers, he's just in a t-shirt. Like when he captures Dr. Destiny.
Yeah.
It's like, look at you. Look at me. Like I give a shit.
Yeah, except in points where he's like meeting his siblings in this, and he's like dressed as an old pirate. Like, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
I didn't
Interesting
have any
choice.
Buccaneer clothes, but I'll check with the business manager, see if we can put a line item in our budget
Good
for
luck.
fourth quarter.
It's definitely gonna have to be Q4. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, why don't we jump right into Volume 4?
Yeah. Very excited about this one.
Yeah, you were saying right before we start recording.
Yeah. It's
One of your favorites so far?
one of my One of my favorites so far. I'm not gonna bury no lead.
Okay.
One of my favorites so far, I think.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well said.
Wait until we talk you out of this one. No.
So yes, this is Season of Mists, and it encapsulates issues 21 through 28. So this was a longer one, especially after. Thank you.
Almost
my word.
forgot.
Yeah, as if we needed another thing to go wrong tonight. We don't know how long we've been talking. We don't know what day it is. But this one is a more long-form story after that little brief side quill with Dream Country, where we just had 4 shorts. So it was kind of nice. It was a nice reprieve, but it's also nice to get back into the meat of it.
Yeah.
Have Morpheus front and center again.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, if we're talking about this as a whole, having it be like a whole long-form arc in a trade, I really actually enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I like the short stories, and you can get a whole lot of stuff going on, but then it doesn't really give you a lot of time to tell like a good chunk of something. Where I liked in this, it reminded me of like going back to like other Vertigo titles, like an arc of Preacher or something like that, where it's like they're just doing this chunk right here, and then they're moving on to something else.
Yeah. This was a long one too. Not only did it, was it 8, 9 issues? It had a prelude, interlude, and epilogue to it as well.
Yeah.
And the basic setup of this, we follow Morpheus returning to Hell at the insistence of his sister, Death, who rakes him over the coals for something he did a while back.
Real POS.
He's going to save his. Oh, Paul, you don't have to switch to this just yet. You keep it on us. You know, he's going to save his former lover, Nada, who he condemned long time ago to Hell.
Yep.
Once he arrives in Hell, he receives a surprise, a gift, and a burden, which he must unload on several wanting deities.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, how does it feel to have Morpheus back front and center to you guys?
I like it. I also like in Sandman they can tell stories without him, or him being like a looming presence. But I also want, it is like his book. So I like following him in this for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. It's very nice, and I think it's just because that whole last volume was almost without him.
Yeah.
So like it's nice to see him back. The only caveat to that kind of is the middle, like the issue that doesn't have him in it was one of my favorites that we've read so far of this specific volume. But without everything that he did, it wouldn't have made sense. So like all the stuff, it was just like the perfect little thing to have in there to make everything just that more cool,
break.
fleshed out.
Sometimes he's a bit much.
He's a bit moody in this one.
In this one?
I would say more moody than usual. Like he's straight up yelling at his siblings.
Yeah.
His siblings are all over the place, though. To be fair,
we get a good introduction to those kooks.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So should we get right into it now?
Yeah,
Should we get
dive
into it?
in. Yeah.
So issue 21, and Paul, this is where we could cut to a picture I drew here.
Wow.
Troy needs another beer. Don't worry, I'm not, telling what's happening on the screen or anything.
I thought when you could cut to a picture, you could just do whatever you want, but all right.
I have to talk over the picture. So, this opens with a prelude, as we said, where we're introduced to Destiny. The first time we meet Destiny, one of the Endless and sibling of Morpheus. And he is walking along, I guess, the sands of time or something. And we jump to the next picture here. He gathers his siblings for a good old sit-down.
Yep.
Family sit-down.
Family meeting.
They all emerge from haunted portraits.
I love the way Destiny talks. That it's just like, no, you're here because you have to be here. Morpheus, you can't leave because you're not supposed to leave.
Yeah.
Like, I can see how he'd be the most infuriating sibling in the world.
Come off your shit, bro.
Kind of the older brother of the Endless household, I feel like.
Yeah.
And he looks older.
Yes.
He's in rags. So we meet them all. There's, let's run through them here. Death, Dream, Desire, Delirium, Destiny, and what is the obese monstrosity?
Despair?
Despair. Thank you.
Derelict.
I loved how how so much different they were. Like, obviously they are, because they're like the embodiments of all these different things.
Yeah.
But, like, Delirium is just insane. Like, and I love how all their speech bubbles are slightly different from each other.
Yeah.
And, like, it's such a cool way to represent how, like, cool and unique and different they all are.
And Delirium used to go by another name, which
Delight?
Delight.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. I completely forgot, but yeah.
She went a bit mad.
Went a bit mad.
Too delightful. Too much happiness pretty soon. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. But yeah, I like we get a little bit more of Death in this as well. I'm always you see her all the time at Comic-Cons, and you're like waiting to see more of her in the book. We're only 4 in, but we get to see a little bit more of her.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. You know?
Destiny makes sure she's all gothed out too.
Yeah.
She shows up in her laid back attire, and he's like, this is a formal event.
More Buccaneer, please.
Yeah. There's no hot topics on the way here. Come on, Death.
More square buckles on all of your clothing, please.
So after that, they have a sit down. They chit chat for about a page before Desire just rips Morpheus a new asshole for his past discretions with Nada, who was his to-be bride at some point, way back when.
Yeah.
And when they kind of didn't see eye to eye, he wanted her to be with him. She wanted him to be with her. He sent her to hell.
Yeah.
Well,
His most lover spats and one of them went to hell.
And this was a character, I think, in the opening story in Volume 2.
Yes.
So it's that, and we've seen her before. So it's kind of a cool callback and a resolution to this whole thing.
Yeah, they're still giving him shit about it. And he's like, you don't have any right. And then Death is like, actually, it was kind of a dick move, bro.
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, dick move, bro.
Yeah, we all kind of thought it. Like, we thought you knew. But yeah, I mean, Morpheus, for all of his pros and cons, a pretty big dick.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that seems so out of nowhere, dickish behavior, where nothing he's done since then really it doesn't reach that high bar of like, what was your problem there, man?
I know, it's odd who so far up through the series, like, who he sides with, and like this was like, it seemed like
I will not budge on this.
Go to hell, I'm on the couch. Or whatever. It's like, fucking A, man.
Yeah, but I also like how he's carried this with him for centuries.
Yeah,
He's like,
10,000 years.
I stick to my guns on this. And then Death is like, kind of an asshole move. And he's like, really? You think? He's like, well, I guess I better go get her.
Yeah.
And then he's like, fare thee well, sister. Materializes a pirate hat, kisses her hand, and he's off.
Yeah, going
Like,
to hell now.
That's all it took?
Yeah,
Like, just nobody said anything about it?
For the longest time, nobody wanted
He's
to
like,
drive
I
up.
thought everyone was fine with it. I thought you guys chose me in that breakup.
Destiny's like, this is why I brought you all together.
Yeah.
It was
Call
just an intervention.
Dream a dick.
Yeah, his name changes to Dick after that.
Then it's,
Sorry, that's good.
if we Paul, if we go to 1.4, I think that one. So yeah, he takes off. He takes his leave. Death says idiot, and then walks back into the dining room, sits down, and she's like, okay, where were we? What do we got to talk about? And Destiny's like, you know what? We're all done here. It's begun. See you later. And he snuffs out that candle, and we're on our way.
Yeah.
We're off to the races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this whole meeting was basically just to stir up some shit and send Dream on his journey to hell.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I really like the art in this prelude here.
Mm-hmm. Same artist does the epilogue too.
Yeah. Yeah. Real strong. I like, everybody looks great. Death looks great in this. Sometimes later on in the series, I like the art in it, but he's a little bit janky looking sometimes, and like doesn't, from panel to panel, doesn't really collate all the way through.
He's a little too wibbly wobbly.
Little wibbly
A
wobbly.
little cartoony woony.
It looks a little toony woony.
I
Yeah.
would say, I would attribute it to like Fan Forstick doing reshoots and having weird wigs on people. It's kind of like that.
Sure.
It's kind of that thing.
Yeah.
That's why we did away with the wigs. We didn't need to add more insult to injury on this
Couldn't do
stream.
it.
Do we have anything interesting in the chat right now? I mean, everyone is interesting in their own right, but anything we should call out between issues here?
They enjoy Dream's casual wear so far in the chat.
I chose wisely.
They liked that Nada was set up many issues ago, even passing, like, when the first time he went to hell, somebody in the cage.
Yep.
Right there.
That's Nada.
Yep.
Zip. Nada.
That's it.
All right.
OJ just trolling. You know, it would be more fun if we were playing X-Men.
Oh my God. He's right though.
Yes.
All right. So we're moving on now. We're jumping into the next issue, and Morpheus is telling his legion that he's gonna go off to hell. He gathers them all around, has a good sit of his own.
Yep.
In this throne of skulls that look like he
chair.
just pulled it right out of the painting from Vigo the Carpathian. If you want to be timely with Ghostbusters news.
Wow.
And on the underside, we have Cain, who has been sent as an emissary of Dream to let Lucifer know, I'm a-coming.
Oh, man.
And I'm taking hell with me.
Oh, my God. Incredible.
You see, he's not bringing it, because it's already been brought.
Yeah.
He's going to go to hell.
This...
Just wanted to clear that up.
And what I love about this, about him specifically sending Cain, and there's other points of this in this book, like towards, you know, the latter half of it, where they're getting more biblical with it, where it's like he sent Cain specifically because of the mark of Cain, like
He's
it's
protected by God.
because God said so or whatever.
Because Stone Cold said
Because
so.
Stone Cold said so.
There's a lot of plot points that wrap up just by because God said so, especially in this volume.
Yeah. But
Why'd that happen? God.
Yeah, but there are a couple of angels introduced in this later on where they kind of get into the whole more God thing, and I kind of want to know, like you see Lucifer, like I want to know, like, is he on the same level or is he above Dream and all the Endless, or like what the deal is there?
Well, Lucifer asks Dream, he's like, "Are you scared of me, Dream?" And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. No questions
He does
asked.
say that he's like way more powerful than he is.
That dichotomy is really cool in this because he's one of the Endless. You know, Dream is like this big. We've already seen what he can do, and then he's like, "Oh, but I'm also terrified of Lucifer, like the ruler of hell." And you kind of get to know a little bit more about Lucifer in this, which made me want to go and kind of touch on the actual Lucifer title.
I just grabbed them. I grabbed those Omnis when we started reading Sandman because I was intrigued when he was first introduced in issue 4.
Yeah.
I was like, I should snatch those up before they're gone forever. Or before, like, volume 2 is only available.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know when I'd ever get the only thing I know about Lucifer is from the TV show that's on, and even then I only watched like 4 eps.
They're very different.
I also know
very
that.
different beats.
He wears a lot of great suits in that show, though.
Well,
can you argue with that?
He doesn't
I
wear
haven't
suits
seen
in the
it,
book.
but I'm intrigued now.
He wears less suits.
Less shirts. 0 shirts in this book.
He's got little spiky wings.
But not for long.
For a bit.
Until he gets them chopped.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay,
here,
I'm sorry.
Right? We're spoiling this for Paul. Paul, how are you doing over there? Thoughts on God?
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
God be with you.
And you.
All right, so we're jumping on to the next visual aid here, if we can. Morpheus also says his goodbyes before he heads into hell to some humans that he's stricken up a relationship with. First one, this woman that just hates his guts.
Oh, yeah.
Hippolyta.
Yeah.
Is that did I get it
Yep,
right?
got it.
I did it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other one that I can never say.
Don't worry about it.
Calliope.
Calliope.
All right.
There we go.
We did it.
Shuichi.
We got there. All right. So she had a baby in this weird dream universe way back in volume 2 with Hector Hall, who was one of the original Sandmen.
Yeah.
And none of this is terribly important other than she was pregnant in a dream, thus, ipso facto, this child is partly Dream's child.
Yes.
And she's like, "Get out of here! I hate you!" And he's like, "All right, I'll be back." And she is also not sure what she should call her baby, and he says, "Looks like a Daniel." And she's like, "Yeah, Daniel." Daniel's nice.
Yeah.
That made it easier for me. Just somebody had to do it besides me.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of a funny thing where I laughed at, where like this baby's in the crib, like weeks old at this point, and her friend was like, "What's the name?" She's like, "I haven't thought of one yet." I'm like, "Don't people usually have this figured out by now?"
So I have a friend who had that same issue. They couldn't come up with a name for their child up until like
Yesterday.
the hospital was like, you can't leave here until you have a name, because it is our job to put that on a birth certificate. So you need to come up with something.
Something.
Okay.
What was the name?
Evan.
Okay.
I would have put a little more time into it.
Maybe a
personally.
Daniel.
Maybe a Daniel. A Daniel is a solid name. I don't know if I've told you my backup name for my parents, Daniel.
There
If
you
I
go.
had a brother,
Wow.
Daniel. If I was born a girl, Lacey.
Okay.
Not a fan of that one though.
Less Daniel though.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. He does have one more interaction with another human, and that is our friend Hob.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which we can cut to this too, Paul. Back one. Nope. Back one. Paul. Back one. Come on. There. Oh, Paul. Nope. Too far. We're rolling with it. Just one of those days. And Hob was the man that he shared a drink with every 100 years. The man that he allowed to cheat death.
Yeah.
And he comes to him in a dream, says his farewell, gives him a bottle of very expensive, hard-to-find wine that he just plucked from a dream. And then they share a toast together before he goes off. And the toast I wrote down because I thought it was quite fitting with this.
Yes.
Hob toasts and says, I thought I wrote it down. Here we go. Found it. To absent friends, lost loves, old gods, and the season of the mists. And may each and every one of us always give the devil his due.
Very good.
That's from Hob. Hobbs End.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
Oh, God.
One either. I couldn't even tell you which
I
one
don't
is which.
either, and I've seen all of them.
Oh.
I don't know.
God have mercy. And then with that, Paul, let's jump to the next one. He suits up and heads off to hell.
Yeah, the bottom left panel there was actually one of my favorites because he looks like he's leaving so fashionably.
He sachets through that portal and opens up.
Oh my god, it's so great.
If I could talk about the appearance of this book, a majority of it is drawn by fan favorite Kelly Jones.
Yeah.
God.
Man.
Draws my favorite drapey Batman.
I
Oh
know. Like for the longest time, I only knew him from Batman. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, he was drawing billowing cloaks long before he
I
got
was
on Batman.
just gonna use the word billowing.
Oh.
My favorite thing of his is when Dream looks like flipping like
Christmas
40
tree.
feet tall, like a Christmas tree, just like bloom, 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 bloom.
Yeah.
Like it's such a sweet look. I love it.
I do love his look when he's like standing in his drapes and the wind's like I guess blowing behind him, and like he does look a tad like a Christmas tree. I think that there's time where it looks like only a broomstick could be standing inside of those curtains that he's wearing. But I
Layers.
still love it.
Oh, it's
I
great.
still love
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, very good.
So
Very
he-
drapey.
Very drapey. Don Draper. Dream Draper.
Laying pipe.
Doesn't
Jesus,
work here.
nope.
Well,
Well,
he
he's
does,
trying to get Nada.
He does impregnate a lot of women in this.
Dream pipe.
Dream pipes. DreamStream.
Oh my
We've
god.
done it.
We did it. All right. So he goes to hell. Let's jump over to hell, Paul. Let's get this nice big picture of hell. He gets there, and looks like it came right out of an H.R. Geiger painting.
Boy, does it.
And he gets there, and hey, hell's closed. Come back later. All the doors are open, but nobody's home. Go to the next one, PK. Look at this. It's empty. And look at that billowing cloak. My
That's
God.
so awesome.
So he's walking around. He's like, what's going on here? And he runs into Lucifer. They have a little exchange, and Lucifer basically says, like, you know what? I quit. I'm done. Done being the devil.
This was so unexpected for me because I expected the build-up. Like, he sent Cain there. He intimidated the shit out of Cain.
Yep.
And then, like, he got there thinking, I gotta say goodbye to all these people because I'm probably gonna die
Yeah.
or whatever he's
Yeah.
gonna get done to him. And then he gets there, and Lucifer's like, "I'm done, man. I give up."
Can you lock up?
Yeah, yeah.
They tease like a big fight, like
Yeah.
he's kind of had before. But I was expecting something else, and this was like exactly kind of what I was hoping it would be. When I was
Better than a
going.
rap battle?
Better
Oh,
than a
man.
rap
Than the
battle.
last time it came down?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, he just showed back up.
Oh, yeah.
His stupid two mouths show right back up.
Rematch.
You think with all those mouths you'd be good at rapping?
No.
No.
Just getting wrapped up.
Oh,
Sex spider.
yeah.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. So if we can move on to the next panel here, Paul. So we get a tour through hell now, as Lucifer's taking him around, basically kicking out the stragglers. There's all these denizens of hell that don't want to leave. They're
Yeah.
like, no, I need to be punished more. Punish me. And he's like, you're punishing yourself. Like, I'm not making you do anything. Which I thought was a really interesting position on Lucifer and hell in this. And I don't think it's not wholly original. I don't think, like, Gaiman thought of this, because I've kind of heard this theory before, that hell was never meant to be, like, torture. It was just, like, an absence from God, and humankind made it into torture and penance. And, like, we've established these rules, and if we break them, we deem that we have to punish ourselves.
Yeah,
and they
right.
just keep doing it. Like, they just can't get over that.
Right.
Because we're a very for blood type of people.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a very vengeance-fueled landscape.
Yeah.
And even there's a point where he's like, "But I've killed so many people. I've done this," and he's like, "I don't care, man.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go up there now. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Say your name, they'll be like, who? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So you can either keep flogging yourself down here, or you can just shut the fuck up.
Yep. And then the guy just blips out of there about as quickly as Dream decided to go down to hell and rescue his lost love.
Yeah.
And if we go back to that panel, Paul, we also learn there, as Lucifer's kind of thinking back to his days as an angel, where he says, sometimes, what's he say? Like, sometimes we choose our own path, which is something that Dream said earlier. Sometimes our paths are chosen for us. And he mentions how, like, his rebellion was all just part of God's master plan. So he's like, I don't even know if I did anything wrong. You know, it's like, it's all preordained. Like, I don't really have a choice in being here.
Yeah.
So my only choice is to just be done.
Yeah,
just
just
remove
to
myself
give up.
entirely.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's funny is that comes back in the end, and I'm just now kind of putting that together with the two other angels that come to the council, like on behalf of God to know what happens with hell.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then they, I mean, not to get, I mean, we're getting a lot ahead of ourselves a lot.
But if you
here,
don't say it
but
now,
I
you'll
won't
forget.
say it. No, I won't forget. But we should come back to it because that is a thing that reoccurs at the end.
Yeah.
So as Lucifer continues locking up hell, we can jump to the next one here. He's just going around shutting down all the doors and lights, turning the chairs up on the tables, all that, and he hands over the key. Or maybe he doesn't quite yet. I see a big key on the picture, but he's getting close to handing it over. And he has this great line too where he talks about, like, humanity always blaming other people or other factors for their own behavior. And he's like, the devil made me do it. I've never made them do anything. Never.
Yeah.
They come here and they expect us to fulfill their desire for pain and retribution. I don't make them come here. I don't own their souls. They belong to themselves. They just hate to have to face up to it.
Yeah.
I
actually
love that.
That was something that really stuck out to me on this read. It's like, Gaiman taking a stand, like, people are shits.
Yeah.
And they'll always be shits, and
Yeah.
they always have been shits, and they want to blame somebody else for being shits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The devil. It's the devil's work, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're
Yeah.
just an awful person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Own up, coward.
Yep. So then after that, he this is where he finally does hand over the key.
Yeah.
So
Key to the city.
Key to the city. He asks Lucifer, or he asks Dream to hack off his wings
Yeah.
So he can pass for a normie, I guess.
Yeah.
Back on the surface.
He's got to wear those tight suits.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Well, he's got
On
to
a
let the
bar or
wings heal
whatever he
up
does.
first. Yeah.
Sexy CW shit.
Yep. And he gives him the key, and then he kind of has this one last thought where he's like, I wonder what they're going to do up on Earth when the dead start coming back. Because, like, well, there's no more room in hell, so
Yeah.
they're going to be up on Earth now.
Actually, there's a ton of room in hell.
There's
but
actually a smorgasbord of room.
there's more room than ever in hell right
Yes.
now. But
All vacancies.
yeah.
But he gives him the key as kind of like, Lucifer doesn't like Dream. For some reason. Like, I don't feel like they had a whole, in the last...
Well, we
The
just
last
said he was
encounter?
a bit of a dick.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, he's giving him business.
Yeah.
He's filling up them rooms
I
and
guess
cages.
you're right. Yeah.
But, like, he's had it out for him, and he's kind of like, you know what, let's bury the hatchet. Here, have the key. Maybe it's gonna give you, maybe it's gonna curse you. Maybe it's gonna make your life shit. Who knows? Wink, wink, I'm gonna go up.
Yeah.
See ya. And then he's out of there. But, like, Dream didn't do anything to Lucifer ever.
Not that I
Other
could...
than get his helmet back from that one chode down there.
Yeah.
On the open mic.
I mean, nothing that we've seen yet, I guess.
Yeah,
Right, but
maybe
yeah.
there's more.
But I do like that instead of just, like, being this all-powerful being that can maybe beat Dream, instead of just, like, beating him down, he just burdened him
Yeah.
with something.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go. It's like if... if, like, somebody gifted you with a dog, and you're like, fuck!
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much. A key-shaped dog. Or a dog-shaped key. I don't know which would be worse.
I don't know.
What does the key open? A dog room? Who
We'll
knows?
find out. Yeah.
Room full of more dogs.
Oh, God!
I also like that after this, it is hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the people from hell are now on Earth.
Right.
And if this was in any other corner of the DC universe, this would be like a year-long event. Like
Catastrophe.
Hellbreak,
Yeah.
where all the heroes are fighting like all their dead villains.
Yeah.
But the only reference to this is one issue that's just about one kid at an English boarding school.
Yeah.
And that is the only insight we get into what it looks like on Earth with all the dead returning.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a strange take on this. Like, you don't know how Superman reacts to this. You
Yeah.
don't know how anyone does.
Yeah.
Or how long it lasts or anything. And it's never mentioned again.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, was that like an oversight? Or was it purely like an intentional decision?
You know, I think in my thinking, it was intentional. Like, because when it happened, I was like, oh my God, like, what is he, like, this, the whole rest of the book has to be how he's going to deal with this. But, like,
Nope.
I think, but it's all from, like, Dream's perspective. He doesn't give a shit if it's hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
Like,
he
so,
goes to his own house and he's like,
I'm
This
gonna
sucks.
have a party, and,
Look at the size of this key.
yeah, I know. So,
I can't hang this on a keychain.
I personally love that. Like, he doesn't care about what's going. Like, it's not his like domain to know who goes where or who's sorted
that's
where.
true.
Like, it doesn't matter to him. And
It's like he was given the burden and he just let the dog outside all day.
yeah,
He doesn't give a shit.
I didn't hit it with my car.
yeah, exactly. Are people still falling asleep? Good. I'm okay.
Everything's running as it should be. If we jump to the next panel, we do see that it does fall on someone to deal with, and that is Dream's sister, Death.
Yeah.
No, Paul. That's not Death, Paul. There we go. God, look at that cloak.
Look at him.
Looks like a flower.
Sure does.
Can we just all take a look?
That's
Kelly Jones.
Kelly Jones, my man.
But that is the first one where I'm like, he looks like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby.
Oh God.
We see Matthew the Crow or the Raven
Mhm,
showing up
yep.
again, which I meant to ask because like I cannot keep straight like in Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
How long he would be this way? Is he like this throughout? Like at one point forever, or he eventually comes back, right?
No, in Swamp Thing, after you can cut back to us, Paul, as we go
We're
off
talking
topic
about a
here.
bird real quick.
Yeah, we've got a lot to say about this crow. After Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing, the artist, Veitch, took over writing it, and in that one, we get to the point where Matt Cable dies, and Dream finds him and says, like, do you want to be my Raven? And that's basically it.
Okay.
I think Matt Cable's on life support through a lot of Alan Moore's run.
I couldn't keep it. I knew it was that person.
And someone in the chat might be able to correct us on that.
Yeah,
but,
somebody get the timeline down in the chat, would you?
I know he does actively become the Raven after Moore's run. But it's the one. It's like the writer right after his run.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet deal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Just want to talk about a bird for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's a bird minute. We've relieved that burden. Ah, my God.
I liked it.
Thank you. All right. Paul, I'm sorry if we blew out your speaker there. We didn't even ask the chat if the speaker's all right. God, we knew it was a compressor acting up that was causing all this trouble. But basically, yeah, Dream asks Death, like, what do I do with this key? And she's like, Dream, I've got bigger fish to fry right now. All the dead are back. I don't know what her deal is with this. Does she have to, like, kill him? What's going on?
I really thought
this seems like one of those things where, like, this is why you have a death, so this doesn't happen.
Yeah. Because in other instances earlier in the book, I thought she could be like a ton of places at once. So like
she's scrambling in this.
But maybe she can't be that many places at once.
Hell's a big place. A lot of room there for activities.
So much room.
If we jump over to the next page here, Paul, all of the other deities and demons and angels have taken notice of what's going on, and Azazel, in a brand new form from what he was first in, now he's just like a cloud with mouths and eyes. I do kind of like this look though.
Same.
Yeah.
Especially when he like, hulks out and he's huge. Mm-hmm. Him and that, God, what's his name? Chronozon or whatever?
I couldn't pronounce either of these guys' names.
They're laying a trap. They're like, we've got Nada here. We're going to barter with Dream for that key to hell. We're going to get back. We're going to get our fingers back in there.
Yeah.
And as we can see, there's also some angels taking notice, and they're just kind of silently observing all of this.
Mm-hmm. I like the introduction. Because is Silver City brought up before this?
This was the first time I remember it.
Okay,
so that's heaven, right?
That's what I assumed.
Yeah, but I thought in the text it said it's like even above heaven. It's like something looking at the looking at the entire universe.
The elitist heaven.
Yeah, it's so far back. Like,
the Elysium heaven.
It's like I want to know like where Grant Morrison would place this in his multiverse chart or wherever. Where it's like it has everything. It's even got like the outer.
You need 3D glasses
to
see that one actually.
This place would be so far removed from that chart, it would make John Hickman's head spin.
Oh God! Oh no! It's beyond the soccer ball.
Oh, and they're not the only ones taking notice. If we look here, we see a whole pantheon of literary and mythical figures. I imagine we're just going to have a field day with some of these guests.
Yes, we are. Mostly the Asgardians.
Yeah.
I'm going to really dig into that Thor.
Oh my God.
Go for it.
First of all,
top left.
You say Thor, and you immediately picture
Hemsworth,
or at least the Marvel's Thor. This is the farthest away you could get besides like a muscle-clad person. He's wearing just a sash. He looks like he looks like shirtless bear fighter.
Yeah. With a tiny hammer.
Tiniest hammer, which at one point in this book says if you stroke it, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
And like he's
a full-on rapist
He
too.
is a dick and a rapist in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a blubbering coward as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He is horrible. He is just like the toxic masculinity personified.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
An amazing person to read in this book, but a terrible person in real life.
Oh yeah. And I also love that Odin is just this
Cagliostro.
A one-eyed cowboy.
Yeah, he's just a weirdo.
Loki looks like a weird elf thing. Like, it's so bizarre, but They're probably the most prominent pantheon in this, but we also get like
Anubis,
Anubis,
and a cat lady.
Yeah, a cat lady,
friend of Anubis,
like god of chaos.
Oh man, hold on, let me. There's Shivering Jemmy, Princess of Chaos, who's a belligerent little girl.
Yeah.
And there's her opposite, Lord Kilderkin, the manifestation of order, who's incarnated as a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Being like carried around by a monk.
Yeah,
He's literally a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Who speaks
in notes.
Like notes. Little fortune cookie
like,
riddles.
Here's your note.
Yeah.
And I love that Dream talks to him like he'll read his note and be like, yes, thank you. You whatever. Like, he talks to him out loud like in his box. Or
thank you for the note.
Yep. And then there's like this Japanese one that I'd never heard of.
Susano Ono Mikoto.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
I actually kind of wanted to look all of these up to see what their deal was and never got around to it.
Yeah, the only other note I have is Thorthuk.
Yeah, he sure does. What a turd.
Yep.
Oh, and then the couple from the fairy realm.
Fairies. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is the dinner guests that are visiting the Dream Castle.
Yep. All wanting hell.
To see if they can get their hands on hell. They've all got their own reasons.
Yep. Remind me a lot of X of Swords.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yes, it does. There are many parallels. But before we get into it, we do take a brief interlude for Neil's favorite chapter of this.
Oh, yeah.
The boarding school, where we meet a young Charles Rowland in this nightmare interlude with art by Matt Wagner of Grendel fame, among many other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This one...
This kid has it rough.
He sure does. Like, it's such like, you know, like hell is unleashed on Earth, and like obviously Dream does not care what's happening on Earth so much.
Dream
but
doesn't
like
give a
this,
shit.
Yeah, this little issue is so cool and harrowing. Like it's like I was reading it late at night and just ended up being like getting the shivers, being like I hate reading this almost, but it's such like a good little issue. But like,
it felt like a Netflix special. Whereas, like, when this does finally come to Netflix, which should be very soon, I would imagine, I can totally see this being like an episode, just a random standalone episode.
Yeah.
Where it's like, these are some of the best moments.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great like premium TV where they do just have these weird little interludes where they just like, let's cut the story, show this one strange event happening and then go back into it, and this is absolutely one of those.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so this kid at a boarding school, all like he's just having his own shitty life during like a summer break. No one else is there except for him, like the headmaster, headwoman kind of thing.
And his parents are overseas, so he's staying there.
Exactly.
So he's the only kid.
And then like all of a sudden, all of these people start showing back up. But they were formerly like they all come back and like, I've been dead for years. I was a headmaster in 1911. Like,
I love the headmaster's mom comes back and she's just like mothering him and kissing him and kind of like telling him what to do,
wiping his ass.
Yeah.
And then like the most grotesque thing here is the school's matron is carrying a dead fetus that she had. She's like, oh, have you met my baby here? And here's this other one that died in the womb. Say hi, Charles. And it's just this little monster there. And the kid just bolts down the stairs as you would in that situation. I'm like, holy shit. What was that kid doing in hell?
Well, well, I guess if you go by it, he hadn't been baptized.
Golly.
Yeah, like that also.
That original sin's a real kick in the ass.
I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of an interesting take to put in this. Like, if you're going like, oh, the full Catholicism view on it, like, this is just wrong. Like, it's just wrong. Like, it's just a weird feeling to have in your gut. Like, all of these babies went to hell because they hadn't been fucking baptized yet. It's just such a weird feeling to read it.
I thought unbaptized babies went to purgatory.
I'm not entirely sure.
PK?
Who is all not baptized in here? I'm a priest.
I could do it right
Yeah,
now.
I mean, do it.
Oh, God.
Paul, are you standing up
In
to
a
receive
beer.
the blessing?
Oh, God, yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Wait,
Oh.
Paul's gonna crack a Voodoo Ranger open. He's gonna spray the camera.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
We're ready to
Paul,
go.
put your lips over the ridge of that bottle. We can just take a quick interlude of our interlude.
This
Just
one?
right here.
Yeah.
Just go like this. Isn't that
Yeah.
nice?
It's
That
a good
ribbed.
can.
Cooling.
Mm.
The ribbed.
Ribbed for our pleasure.
God. I mean, we're not sponsored or anything, but Voodoo Ranger IPA, New Belgium.
Quite good.
My God, it gives
Sponsor
your
the
lips
show, man.
so much pleasure.
Yeah.
Get
Oh
in,
my God.
get in touch with our people,
There
which
it
is
is.
just him.
That's me. Actually, it's a I'm
Business
going to defer it to the
manager.
business manager. I think she answers every phone call with not in the budget, so you'll have to excuse that and then get down to
Yeah.
We just
the
want to give you
proverbial
money,
business.
though. Not in the budget.
Not in the
Give us
budget.
money.
No. No.
All right, so back at it.
Yeah.
Lip work aside, we meet some bullies.
Mhm.
If we jump to this 5.3, Paul, we meet Cheeseman, Barrow, and Skinner. And my note for this is just, this place sucks.
Very
Yeah,
much
yeah.
so.
He's being haunted by dead bullies.
He's in a class full of dead kids that make him do dead things.
Lay in this box.
Yeah.
Sleep like Troy. They go for a swim and it's like autumn and he's fucking freezing, but
Yeah.
nobody seems to care.
Yeah.
And there's no food because none of them need to eat. So they're just like, we don't need it.
Yeah.
That and the new headmaster that takes over is the old one that died in like 1912 or whatever.
Yeah.
Comes out full on with like your graduation suit on with a switch.
Yeah.
Just ready
Yeah.
to kick the shit out of children.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I did before the Great War and I'm gonna still do it now.
Yeah.
Whatever year this is.
1991. What?
You both went into full Eugene over there from our Ghost Hunter Dave series. Relapse. And then, Paul, I know you just came back to us, but if you can go to 5.4 there, we get what I think is the most disgusting insert panel I've ever seen in this book.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Is them taking a skewer and fucking piercing his nipple.
Yeah.
The bullies. They find him in the kitchen, they burn him on a stove, and just like fillet his nipple,
Yeah.
which is awful. I
It's
can't do it.
terrible.
I want it removed from the screen immediately.
It's just terribly sad. Like, this kid's just at boarding school, his parents are away, like his dad's
I
in a
think his-
war in Kuwait.
I think his
Yeah.
mom is dead
Or
and his
maybe-
dad's at war or something
Yeah.
like that.
And then, like,
The
this
Gulf
kid in
War.
boarding school gets, like, bullied by dead people and then just gives up. Like, he literally is just like, I can't do this anymore. Because he befriends, like, this dead boy
Yeah.
who those bullies ended up killing
Yeah.
to try to sacrifice him to the devil and, like, buried
Yeah.
it, like, just put his body in a
In the
At a
attic.
chest
like an
or
attic.
some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Edwin, the ghost boy.
Yeah. And the boy just is like, I'm dead. And death shows up and just is like, yeah, sorry, boy, you're dead.
Yeah, he like
Yeah.
succumbs to his. I'm assuming some sort of
His nipple
infection.
wounds.
So
Yeah.
not sterilizing that nipple piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But, like,
This is also my favorite version of death in like a full 80s / 90s workout gear.
Yeah.
Because she's just running all over the place trying to round up all these ghouls from hell.
Yeah.
But look at her. God,
Looks
that's what I
great.
should have worn.
Oh God, we all should have worn that, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, this shows that like she's got no time on Earth and lets the boy just kind of like live dead on Earth kind of a thing. Like
Yeah.
all the kids in hell or all the dead people in hell back on Earth, he just kind of stays with them.
She's like, I know you're set to go to hell. And he's like, what? He's like,
Yeah.
sorry, everyone goes to hell in there.
Yeah.
But you can stay as long as you don't get into trouble.
Yeah.
I got bigger shit to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang out with Edwin.
And it's pretty much like, listen, you need to. It's like an argument I have with my kids like almost every day. You need to come with me. I don't want to, but you have to. I don't want to. You know what? Fuck it. I'm out. I'm gonna go right now. You can follow me if you want. I don't give a shit. I'm leaving.
I loved how this one ended though. And like he's like, I don't know how much time we've got left, but this is my time to live.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a nice take that
Yeah.
he's dead,
Yeah.
but now it's his time to live, which is also another thing
He's
that
got nothing to lose now.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we've touched
Don't
on
be
this.
so lucky.
Exactly. We've touched on this multiple
Are we
times
all killing
before.
ourselves tonight?
Ritual suicide?
Let's bury ourselves in
Let's
these
all pierce
chests.
our nipples right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, God. I'm out.
Unsanitary.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out.
But I
You
just,
had me until that part.
I love that Gaiman he's touched on death multiple times in such unique ways, and this is just another one.
Yep.
And
Weird.
it's always kind of comforting,
Yeah.
strangely enough, which
Yeah.
is a good take on death because it's very horrifying, inevitable, and if you can take any solace in it through works of fiction, I think that's just going to kind of better your life leading up to that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Something not to dread quite as much
A good-
as it probably should be.
Yeah. A great interlude.
Yeah.
with This issue.
Yep.
Excellent interlude.
The only human characters in this whole arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even realize that until you said it.
I didn't realize it until I said it. All right, so then we jump back. Paul, the gods have arrived and they're ready to dine. There's Thor. He reminds me of Hercules.
Yeah.
Just a big old douche.
Yep.
Calls this Egyptian cat god Pussyface, I believe, if you'll excuse my French. And I believe this is where he talks about his increasing hammer size.
Yes.
We also meet the fairies there, which reminded me a lot of the Targaryens from Game of Thrones because
Very much.
the boy fairy is ready to just sell out his sister here
Yep.
as part of their barter, which feels real dirty and awful.
Yep.
And they're both blonde. And as it goes on, you could tell he doesn't give a shit about any of this.
No.
He's just there to fuck as many Egyptian royal boys as
Yeah.
he can.
Yep.
I'm like, man, he doesn't care at all. He's just there to get his rocks off.
You,
Yeah.
Egyptian olive oil boy.
Yeah.
Come over here.
Yeah.
Oil me up, boy.
And the boy looked like he was about 12.
Yeah.
Very off-putting.
Them. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
say it. I'm not even gonna
there's no way
say
to say it.
Somehow this is already demonetized. We don't need to get sued as well.
Yep.
All right. I love that the evening's entertainment is just Cain and Abel performing
each other.
the world's worst magical act, and everyone is like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. If they were even watching.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Well-
I'm just gonna saw you in half for real.
Yeah.
Nobody's really watching though. I'm still gonna do it.
I still hate your guts.
And I love that Jemmy, the Princess of Chaos, has some great lines here, like, look at the fat man. I like him. It's funny when he shouts and shouts. I think I must call him Mr. Shouty. She goes on to say, look, it's Mr. Shouty. He's a pooey man. And then everyone starts fucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Everyone
not?
wants to get down.
Yep, they're here. It's like the Olympics.
Oh,
They've all
exactly.
gathered here, best of the best, top of the echelon,
Yeah.
and they're here to fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. They could smell it in the air. It's time to bang.
Stank.
So while this is going on, they're all taking individual leave, a break from the fucking, to go chat with Dream and offer him a bribe
Yeah.
for the gates of hell,
Yeah.
and all within the gates
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Paul, you can cut back to the real deal over here. That's us three, gentlemen. That's it. And then Paul, if you'll cut to the next panel.
I was actually waiting with bated breath to see what they were actually gonna
Oh, look at that son of a bitch.
to offer Morpheus. I wanted to see what everybody had on the table.
Yeah.
right?
Same.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit bribes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is these two demons from hell are getting busy, and as we said, this gross spider woman, where I'm assuming the spiders are crawling out from her nethers there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look
sure.
at the photo. Look at the photo there.
Oh God, we have photographic proof. It's
Yeah.
either climbing out of her ass or other places.
Or both. Wraps him up, and he's part of the gift from Azazel, the man who almost bested him in song
Yep.
years back. So he's going to deliver him along with Nada for the key to hell.
Yeah.
But before then,
Good trade up.
not
Yeah.
bad.
He does want nada. That's
He
the
does
whole
want
I don't
nada.
think he gives a shit about Chad or Chad.
Yeah,
or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
it's Chode boy.
Charanzan.
Chorizo.
Charanzan. Chironzon.
Would
Got it.
Chironzon's 2 miles?
Yes.
Okay.
Full Chironzon, 2 miles.
There you go.
And on the next page, you see that Kane grinds Abel into sausages. Nope, back one, Paul. To which,
as an aside, he makes him into sausage.
To which the Lord of Chaos says, "Did Mr. Shouty really be sausages?"
Yes, he be.
That makes me awfully uncomfortable. I don't like the idea of someone being minced into sausages.
Would you be alright if you saw it and it didn't happen off panel?
Maybe. I don't like where my mind fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did he get wrapped in the casing?
Yeah,
I don't like it.
If you saw the whole magic act, he's like, well, I'm sawing him in half, and then I'm throwing him in this grinder like in Kingsman 2.
Yep.
Bones and all.
Kingsman.
He comes out sausage style. These are natural casings, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
I think if I
It's his
saw the
own
process,
guts.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah, but that you don't know, and then he serves it to the crew, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the fact that, like, on the cover of this issue, it says something like, this happens, this happens, this happens, and a unique recipe for sausages. And it's such, like, a throwaway thing where I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Mr. Shouty be sausages? I don't like it. It's one of my buttons. Don't like being turned into sausages.
That's right. Fair
Nobody make any memes about it.
No.
Everyone make memes of Dave's face on sausages.
No. Nope, don't like it. Another interesting aspect of this, while everyone's dining, whining and dining and fucking,
Yeah.
their serving staff are just randos that he's pulled in
Yeah.
from their dreams. Just like people that are asleep, he's just pulled them in and like, here, serve this wine, do
Yeah.
this. And they're like running into each other like, do I know you? And like, we need to keep doing what we're doing or else it's going to turn into a nightmare real fast.
Oh,
Either
boy.
nightmare or sausage.
Oh, God. No. We jump to the next one, Paul. Odin and Dream chat, and Odin offers Dream a fraction of his soul, which I thought was very odd. He says he's trapped a fraction of Dream's soul in a mini universe, and the picture he shows of this in like the snow globe is Sandman, one of the Sandmen, and Hawkman fighting like a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, did you take this as the DC universe? Because they
Yeah,
say
I
this is a
did.
universe
Yeah.
that Odin created.
Yeah.
So,
I-
like, is Odin kind of the god of all things, including the DC universe?
Oh man, I have no idea.
I feel like there's layers upon layers there, but I thought that was a really weird little pull there.
Yeah.
So you make reference to like at one. This is set in the DC actual universe, and at one point it kind of does its own thing enough that it's kind of like it's kind of doing its shit on the side.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, at least still in these first 4 volumes, there's something that it's like, no, it's still living here.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
And this is like a little thing like, yeah, it's still here.
Yeah, the first volume, big time.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
this one, we haven't got a whole lot other than that and a little bit with Daniel Hall, I guess.
Yeah.
And we also hear from the cat god that she's willing to offer the whereabouts of Dream's lost sibling, the only member of the Endless that we haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's like, okay, I'll take it into consideration. That's his response to every
Yeah.
offer. Like, I'll deliberate on it.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you. But I'm interested in that. I don't know who that sibling is.
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it a
know.
ruse?
I bet it starts with a D.
Oh,
Whatever it
very good.
is. Because I think
Daniel.
there's 7, right?
I don't know.
I thought there was. 7 seems like a good number for that.
Donk.
And I think we've only met 6.
Donk.
Donk. But yeah, that's it. And he's like, all right. And then, Paul, if you go to the next one, we'll see an image of Dream giving Matthew the Raven a balloon.
Yeah. Chaos
Which
balloon.
he seems to enjoy. And then Azazel plays his card. He's got Nada and Kronzan. And Dream continues to deliberate to everyone's dismay. So it's lining up. We're ready to wrap this party up. Threw the wrong paper down here.
Oh no!
Go ahead, buy some time. Got it. Thanks for buying time.
You bet.
How we doing on the hourglass? We're still good.
We're working on it.
We're ahead of schedule. So if we jump into the next page, we see that the angels that have been observing this whole thing, they've come to meet with Dream, and boom, they receive the word of God.
They sure do.
Straight to their cerebellum.
Oh, God.
They hear the voice of God, and he tells them they are to be the new rulers of hell.
Mm-hmm.
To which they respond, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I will rebel like Lucifer. And then they ultimately decide to take the burden, and Dream hands them over the key.
Uh-huh.
But let's pick that apart a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
So this is the part you thought I was going to forget at the beginning.
That's true.
So Lucifer says stuff like this right away in the beginning.
It's all preordained.
Yeah,
I had no choice.
he's like, he had no choice. And like the same thing happens to these angels who didn't think they were coming here to just be thrust into hell.
Right.
But they did anyway, because it's not up to them. Like, it's up to the dick in the sky.
The man upstairs.
The man upstairs to call all the shots.
Uh-huh.
The business manager upstairs.
Oh boy, this is ringing too true.
And he's handing out slaps to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I thought that was very interesting, where they are not above, Paul, you're not even going to cut to a wide, you're just going to do this on the fly?
Why?
It's alright, who gives a shit?
No,
This thing's dead in the water anyway. But yeah, they're not above calling God a big old dick in this.
Right.
And he's, I mean, we don't get, it's not like a preacher level calling out God
Yeah.
as a dick.
Did somebody say they wanted to slap?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! Oh God!
Thank you.
Give the people what they want, I guess. I love that you put on the jacket for it.
Always do.
Are you wearing pants?
Yes.
All right.
Slight pants.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service. All right.
Anyway, we're talking about
Live.
God.
Yes. How fitting. But yeah, it's not a preacher level of God's a dick, but it's in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It opens up a lot of questions for me in like this universe that they created. Like you have
Did God create the endless?
Yeah.
Right,
That's kind of
like,
what I
Or
want.
are they all like on the same level?
are we gonna eventually meet this ultimate high power? Like, because we have pretty much as guardian gods, we have the endless a step above them. I'm assuming these angelic people that live in Silver City and like a Lucifer type deal above that, and then
Yeah.
you have God, like a one above all. Are we ever gonna get that high in Sandman?
I don't know.
Like-
I feel like we're not, but I do like the aspect that Gaiman just incorporates all the mythology and theology.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, there's God. It's like, no, there's God, but then there's these gods and these gods.
Yeah.
There's just all. It's just, I guess it's the nature of stories.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Except-
it's more story gods
Yeah.
Yes.
in all of them and what they encapsulate.
Right.
Then, like, there's one true God.
Right.
Yeah.
This god, capital G, doesn't like to be seen. So like he's gonna send like his angels down, kind of
That's
thing.
right.
But I feel like he would just be on the same level as Odin or this. Like he sure acts like he'd be on the same level as all of these other pantheon gods, kind of a thing.
And then Dream finally announces his decision after this. He tells the all the onlookers that, hey, it's God's choice. It's his key. So I'm giving it back to the angels.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone's like,
shit.
well, okay.
Yeah.
The angels say hell will now act to rehabilitate the damned, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
And Azazel is pissed, says like, fuck you, Dream. I got your girl. Come and get me.
Yep.
See you at Wanda's. And Dream's like, no, I'll see you at Wanda's. And then,
Oh my
boom,
God.
jumps
Right
into
to
it.
Wanda's.
Yeah.
Straight to Wanda's.
Oh
Straight to the heart of Wanda's.
Yeah.
And in the next panel, you see Dream basically just using his powers to shut Azazel down
Yeah.
almost immediately.
Yeah.
It's another one of those where you're like, oh man, how's he going to get out of this? And then you're like, oh yeah, he's the Sandman and he can do anything.
Yeah.
So, like,
Also-
there's really no conflict in this.
Really, Azazel is just a bunch of lips.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
So get sucking, bitch.
Oh man.
So he saves Nada, and he traps Azazel in a little snow globe. But he's not gonna kill him. He's basically like, you just go in a timeout for a bit.
He puts him in a chest like that poor dead boy that the bullies killed.
Yeah. Go hang out with Edwin. Actually, I do like that he puts him on a shelf full of other trinkets and curiosities. One of them is the skull of the Corinthian. There's a skull with teeth eyes.
Oh, yeah,
Oh yeah, that was the other dream or the nightmare that he conjured that kind of went astray.
Yeah.
And he had to put in time out, I guess.
Very cool.
So yeah, he's not above giving him a slap on the butt and then sending him back onto the field, I guess.
Yeah.
So then we're on our last issue. We're winding down. That was kind of the climax to the big thing. All the gods are heading home, and now we're on the epilogue.
Yeah.
My God, we've
run out of sand.
We've run out of sand. Let's hope. Paul, is the generator still turning? Do we need to get more sand to keep this stream running?
How's the compressor?
Compressor's good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So if we can jump to 8.1 here, Hell once again opens its gates. It's open for business.
And boys, they're a line right out the door.
My God,
Just
people are
like-
chomping at the bit to get back to that torture.
Yep. Just like Disneyland after saying masks aren't needed anymore.
And also, as everyone's leaving, everyone's kind of saying their farewells. The fairy emissaries, they're like, well, had a great time. Thanks for all the young boys that I could bang. It's been wonderful. Here, have my sister. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And he leaves her, and Dream's like, I don't want her. He's like, well, you got her. She's yours.
Yeah. Turns out made a deal can't go back on. You
Yep.
gotta have her.
And I love the lower right panel you just saw there was funny because it's just him scratching his head being like, I'll make a room for her out of the way, I guess.
Oh, yes. And she's just giving him this stare down with like the dotted line eye contact. Yeah, I thought that was weird. I don't know if she plays a larger role going forward, but she's just hanging out in the Dream Castle now, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Shall see.
Yeah. But I also like that Dream's like, listen, I don't like any glamour spells or any of that shit. I'm the only one that can look glamorous here. I'm taking the shit down.
Get a go.
Also, I'll
You're an
make you a room. Get out of here.
You're Shrek now.
Hey,
it's me.
oh no! Shrek! Shrek!
We've got an inside joke going on lately where
Oh,
we
it's
just
all
do
about
terrible
Shrek.
Shrek impressions.
Yeah.
And that is all the impression consists of.
Yeah. It's me, Shrek! Shrek!
No, you're sounding too much like Shrek.
We'll dedicate another live stream
It'll be
to it.
it'll be a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Where's my donkey? I'm Shrek!
Oh, God! Oh. Anyway.
Shrek stream.
Shrek stream.
Stream.
Oh my God. DreamWorks is on the phone with the business manager right now. Trying to
We
pull
got
out.
gold. We're printing money right now.
Get those boys. We're making a Shrek
Trying
movie.
to siphon off our monetization from the stream right now. These poor people watching.
Nick Gracia says Imperius Rex.
I'm making the shirt
Yeah.
after we're
I
done.
need the shirt.
Oh my God! Great job,
Just
Nick.
all of us as Shrek. Take the night off, Nick. You've done enough.
God.
Oh my God.
Okay. Do you guys need one more beer? Should I get the business manager on this?
Yes.
Business manager, we would like. Paul, you good? You need one more.
I need maybe one more.
We need 3 more beers, please. Thank you. And now we wait. No, we're out of time. We have to keep moving here.
We need to get this going.
So we learned that Loki, God of Mischief himself, has stayed behind. He's created a ruse, as Loki's do's.
Yes.
They do.
Oh, very good.
Where when he was pulled out of like his purgatory, he was being tortured for all eternity.
Yeah.
And they're taking him back to that, but he did the old switcheroo and replaced himself with this poor Asian gentleman
Yeah.
who is in his place now, and Dream saw right through it.
Right.
just like this business
Oh.
manager's gonna see right through this door.
Oh my
Do you
god.
want more?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants the lady beer?
Me.
You have to drive with children. That one's for Paul.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're cleaning this up afterwards, right?
Cleaning what up?
All this.
That's what it always looks like.
Imperius Rex!
Donkey!
This one is the best one we've ever done.
Yeah, so Loki pulls like a straight Loki move from every
Yeah,
Loki
that's a
you've
real
ever
Loki.
seen in MCU or
Pulls
whatever.
a real Loki.
But also earlier in the chat, Pudlord actually said that the person he's impersonating
Yes.
is like the Japanese, like Japanese Thor.
Japanese Loki.
No, it's like the lightning god in
Okay.
Japanese lore or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yep.
Thanks, Pud.
There you go.
Anything else going on in chat, or are they just
They
ignoring us
really
entirely?
loved Imperius Rex.
Yes.
Yeah.
As they
Maybe new
should.
T-shirt coming soon.
Yes. God. God help us all. So, Loki's like, don't send me back.
Yeah.
Don't send me back, Shrek.
Yeah.
I
Not
hated
back to the
being
swamp.
like fed venom from this snake or whatever is going on.
For
in
all
it.
eternity.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to have to do.
Yeah.
Paul, would you like to be fed venom for all eternity?
Actually, I don't think it was fed venom. He's being bound there by the guts of his child, and then he's being like dangled by this large snake that's just dripping venom, and this woman
You ever been
catching the
dangled?
venom.
You ever been dangled?
Catching the venom, except for the point where the bowl is full and she must like, I'm gonna dump the venom over here, but more venom just falls on him when she doesn't have the bowl to catch the venom, and that's going on for like 10,000 years or whatever.
It's going on forever.
Yeah,
You'd think he'd shut his mouth.
you would
No,
think he'd
not
be a
swallow
little.
it.
But
Well,
yeah,
that's
what's
neither
happening.
here nor there.
Yeah,
He's like, you can't send me back there.
Yeah.
It sucks. And
It's-
Dream's like, I bet it does. It sounds like it sucks. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to send you back. Come with me. Let's have a chat.
yeah.
And they walk off. We don't ever see the extent of that, but
Yeah.
I guess more things to look forward to in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
Some Loki tricks.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I know they did they release casting for the Sandman series going on, and they actually had casting for Loki and all of those people. So I
A
they
variant.
did. Yeah.
A variant?
No, it was like I think I don't know, was it for the show or the audio book? But
I
David
wonder-
Tennant was.
I think it was the audiobook.
It must have been the audio book
Yes.
then.
Okay.
But they'll get to it in the show.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I don't think they get this far in the first season.
I
but I know the audiobook would be covering this.
yeah,
Right on.
I know
David
that.
Tennant is Loki.
Yeah,
Great
it was
choice.
pretty great.
Yes.
I think the cast for the audio is like far better than whatever the show could concoct at
Yeah.
all.
It is the most spot on casting
Yeah.
you could imagine.
I think
so
they had
good.
Jeffrey Wright was Destiny, I think.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, it's so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
God, yeah, we went through like a couple of the first rounds of the casting that they released, and there's still like more coming. But
Yeah.
overall, like the casting across the board, the Netflix show and the audiobook, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's better than I would have thought, because I would have been like, Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
I know he's in everything, but like, he pretty much is Morpheus.
Yeah, I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Put
don't
him in-
want him, but like, show me a better one.
Yeah. Throw some curtains on him. He
Yeah.
looks like him. Look
Get the
at
drapes out.
him.
Get your mother's drapes.
Oh boy.
So let's wrap this up. There's
Yeah.
still a couple more conversations to be had here.
Sure.
The big one.
Ooh.
Dream and Nada.
Yeah.
A marriage story.
Yes.
They're hashing things out.
Yes.
They're burying the hatchet.
Yeah.
Dream apologizes after almost threatening to banish her to hell once again. After she gets a bit lippy with him, I guess.
Just slaps him once.
Yeah. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they both eventually refuse to join the other under their terms once again, so they kind of part ways. They're like, all right, I guess what we had was great, and then it sucked for a really long time, but I guess thanks for rescuing me, but it really sucks that you did that, and you're a shit.
Yeah.
Bye.
So
That's essentially it. That's
pretty
paraphrasing.
Much, so doesn't he gives her new life essentially,
Yeah,
right?
he puts her inside of a
newborn.
newborn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because she doesn't know what to do. She's been in hell. Like, where do I go? And she chooses like reincarnation.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had a kind of a cool conversation there. She says, "Will you remember me?" And he's like, "I will always care for you." And she was like, "But will I still remember that you care?" And he's like, "No."
Yeah.
But I'll know. And she's like, "Oh, okay, good for you, I guess." Right. And then he goes and he tells this baby that it's always welcome in the dreaming.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's probably.
he's very self-serving.
Yeah. Well, that and
Very
it's
much.
really it's just best case scenario for her. Just
Mm.
forget about this prick.
Oh my
That's
God,
pretty
yeah.
Yeah,
true,
don't forget about
She
him
just had like
altogether.
10,000 years of hell
Exactly.
because of this dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's in the best spot she's been in a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not wrong there. I do like this tortured love story though.
Hmm?
Like
Where they're both kind of too proud to.
Yeah. I really enjoy it. Like, even though he has way more vast power than she could ever hold, that she still like has the power over him.
Yeah.
I still enjoy that.
To make him act like an abusive maniac.
And I don't like that so much, but I hope like can through.
It's
I don't
probably the
know.
most human he ever is.
Oh, yeah.
As like a jilted lover.
And
Yeah.
I don't
And
don't
it's
know
the
what-
worst traits of humanity too.
And I don't want it spoiled for me or whatever, but I don't know anything about this series. I've gone into this blind, but I hope this comes in and out of here. Like
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see them like intertwine throughout the years of like will they won't they type shit. Like we're on a break type
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I kind of want to see that. Like
I
Yeah.
would love to get like an interlude, you know, like one of those boarding house interludes or an old Hob interlude where like maybe
Yeah.
he just goes and like observes her life
yeah,
or something like that. That would be cool.
yeah,
But I too have no idea.
yeah.
I feel like you have to, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe
You
they do.
Play like a scorned ex-boyfriend who's stalking his like girl, like ex or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
That's,
Can you
that's
imagine the
more on
night-
his level.
Yeah.
Imagine
Oh,
the
yeah.
nightmares
Oh,
that
yeah.
her boyfriends are gonna get.
Oh yeah. I
Or
have
just-
no dick.
Oh shit! I'm
Oh,
Shrek.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
Paul, you ever been Shrek? God, if you somehow
Hey!
had some kind of Shrek cam.
Oh my god.
Amazing. And then as we wind down here, we see Lucifer chilling on the beach.
Yep. He's
He's-
in Perth, Australia, of all places.
Yeah. Meets this this old codger who has had a pretty shit life, but still manages to see the beauty
Yeah.
in the small things. And the two of them enjoy the sunset together.
Yeah.
And Lucifer kind of gives this little wink and a nod to God, I guess, where he's like, "Ah, you old bastard, you make some pretty nice sunsets." Yeah. So, I guess he's just like, all right, you know, what's in the past is in the past. I'm going to blaze a new trail and open up a nightclub or whatever he does.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if we see any more Lucifer in Sandman or if he just goes on to his own title now. But I thought it was kind of a cool farewell
Yeah.
to him. He's joined humanity and he's just going to kind of do his own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this volume is about as far as you read on your first initial read, right?
I read one more.
Okay. Okay.
And it's not a big scope thing. It's kind of a small story. So I don't know a whole lot about all these other peripheral characters. This is the last I know of Lucifer and all
Okay.
these.
All right. I really enjoyed this trade.
Yeah.
This read was great.
Yeah.
I liked it quite a bit. I love the huge scope of things and like the trickery by Lucifer to like, hey, here's this burden. Peace out. That whole thing was great to me.
Mhm.
The interlude was great. Like
Mhm.
this issue was real fun.
Yeah.
I'm seeing why people like Sandman.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
also like, how how did it take us this long? You know, like, it's this big sprawling thing, but it's also these very like small stories
Right.
that are the most interesting.
Yes.
It's like he got the key to hell, and hell is empty, and hell is the demons have returned to earth,
Yeah.
but the entire thing is on a bunch of just weirdo deities trying to bargain with him.
Yeah.
And that is the story that
Yeah.
we see. Like,
Yeah.
I like that. I like seeing these conversations
Yeah.
rather than these like epic adventures.
Yes.
Yeah. His conversation with Lucifer in the first two issues was awesome. Like
Yeah.
that's actually what kind of got me into this volume, this volume in general. Is just like his conversation he had with Lucifer over hell being empty and like, here's the key. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Like, I thought that was such an interesting take that I didn't see coming whatsoever. I thought there was going to be a whole bunch of more twists and turns in there, but it was so much more straightforward than I would have imagined it being.
Yeah. It seems like every conflict is resolved with a long conversation
Mhm.
that is so much more interesting and poignant than like a battle.
Yes.
Unless
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a rap battle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that, like, Gaiman is doing such, like, being as not having read this before, like, he's flipping all of my expectations. Like, I expected Dream to have some kind of fight with Lucifer, something like that. And it resolved in, like, this way where he's just conflicted about what to do with this giant burden. Like, essentially. And it's like, man, you don't get that out of anything else that you've like read so far, or that I've read so far.
Yeah,
anyway,
and
you
if
know?
they do it that way, it's not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then the very last part of this, like the final send off.
Mhm.
If we go to the last panel, Paul, we're with the angels once more, and they have turned hell into a rehab clinic, essentially, or at least that's what they're telling themselves.
Yeah.
And the main angel here says, "We will hurt you, and we are not sorry, but we do it not to punish you. We do it to redeem you, because afterwards you'll be a better person, and because we love you. One day you'll thank us for it." And one of the tortured people says, "But you don't understand. That makes it worse. That makes it so much worse."
Yeah, I think it's the guy that we saw before, right? That's getting his,
Hanging
like,
on pins and needles.
Yeah,
and
Yes.
stuff,
getting
yeah.
like ripped apart like
Yep.
Hellraiser style or
Yes,
whatever.
and the angel says, like, "Look at this. Here we are, happily ever after, in hell."
Yeah.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
Like, what a ending.
Yeah. Part of me thinks like this is like a whole big giant circle thing. Like, is that how Lucifer started?
I feel like I mean, not exactly, but I think pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's put there beyond his control,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just kind of forced to do it, and I guess he, like, makes the best of it. These angels, I feel like, are almost another level there, where they're, like, almost sadomasochistic.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yeah, we're gonna really make you pay for it. Like, they're like the religious fanatics that are flogging themselves for God. They're like, yeah, we gotta beat the sin out and you know, like, pray the gay away and all this stuff. Like, we can make you better.
Yeah.
And after all the torture we do to you, you're gonna be a better person. You're gonna thank us for it.
Yeah.
It's like this mind washing where you're like, oh my God, that's worse than just being tortured for the sake of being tortured, I think.
Yeah.
If you think it's going to make you better as a result, that's pretty awful.
I guess you think
That's
of
like
it.
scary.
Yeah, it is. I guess if you think of it in the way like Lucifer rebelled against God because he had just differences with him, whereas these guys were put there by him. So they're there for completely different circumstances. So you can see how they would rule hell a little bit differently or whatever.
And they're like, oh, we are going to fucking
Oh
rule
my
this
God.
place.
And I'm gonna get off you.
Yeah, I think it's worse because these angels seem to, like, really take pride in what they're doing.
Mhm.
Where Lucifer is like, fuck it, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
These guys are like, oh yeah, we're going to put you on a 10-step program, you know?
Oh my
You're
God.
going to
Yeah,
get
they're all in.
some
Yep.
barbed wire, and
Oh
then you're
my
going to
God.
get, like, the rack, and you're going to, oh, by the end of it, you're going to be thanking us, you're going to be walking great, you're going to be praising Jesus. It's a little too real life for me, where they just think, like, yeah, you can be cured. Whatever you're doing all these terrible things, and we'll just, with enough torture and suffering, we'll make you better. We'll make
Right.
you one of us.
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
Oh boy.
all right.
I know. Oh,
So
yeah.
that's it. Happily ever after.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to whatever we see of Hell again, because
Me
these
too.
two daemons seem like they're nuts.
Yes.
And also, there's two, not demons, angels. There was two angels, Duma and like Ramiel, I think
Yeah.
are their names.
Yep.
Duma was silent. Ramiel was the one that was like, I maybe it's not Ramiel, something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, no, I don't want this. This is awful. Like, we didn't do anything bad. Duma takes the key, the
Yeah.
silent one, and then Ramiel is like, oh, well, I'm not gonna let you do it alone. I'll do it too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does this silent one have like a ulterior motive here? Does he
Right.
have a plan that
Yeah.
he kind of like coerced
Yeah.
the other one?
I
And now
actually-
the other one's like in on it. He's
Yeah.
like, let's fucking torture
Let's
these
do
pricks.
this shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that they say they never even like set foot on the clay earth, but the silent one, Duma, like you see him and the art shows him standing, and then
Mhm.
he takes the key, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I guess we're in the shit now.
Yeah, he's ready for this.
yeah. It's really great.
Yeah, I have no idea if these guys pop up again. I'd be curious if anyone's read it in the chat and anyone's still with us. We're running long here. We appreciate your viewership, but I'm curious if these guys make an appearance again, because I
Yeah.
think that's a very interesting aspect, and I would like to see more explored on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Lucifer touches on it. I don't know.
We'll see.
No idea.
I'm looking forward to more though. God, the way we've broken this up into like monthly things. We're not just burning it out, and
Mhm.
reading it all at once. Like this
It's a
is.
treat.
It's so nice.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially since the last one was like such a breeze, and this one, I knew going in was a little bit longer. I blew through it. I was having a
Same.
great time
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
read.
Me too.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because like it wasn't so truncated between like broken up between a bunch of different issues. Like they're all doing their own thing. It was like a story I wanted to just blow right through, like binging it on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I'm looking forward to Volume 5,
Yeah.
like right away.
And it's interesting, as you said that, I felt the same way. I was like flying through, and then I got to that interlude, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this stopped the story cold. But then like halfway through, I'm like, God, I really like this. And by the end of it, I was like thinking back, and I'm like, I love that this interlude happened right there.
Yeah.
Where it is like this like crux of the main story, but it's just like, let's take a pause and let's just like kind of go into something different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that was a great little standalone piece.
Yeah.
And then we went right back into the main thing. And
Yeah.
It's like, what a masterful presentation
Yeah.
here.
I love
Neil Gaiman should write more comics.
Yeah, maybe. He keeps all these like small little tidbits too at such a small scale too. Like he makes them all feel personal. Like
Yeah.
a very personal touch where it's not like the whole world is like this and then you have to rack your brain about how this whole world is supposed to
Yeah.
feel about it. But he gives you this one singular instance of what is happening, and I think that just makes it so much more touching.
Yeah. Indigestible.
Yeah.
I will say that about almost all of Gaiman's stuff, where for the longest time, I almost thought it was a detriment, or maybe I was seeing it as a detriment, where a lot of his work is so, like, small focused and personal that I'm reading it and I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what's this mean in the grand scheme of things? And sometimes, like, it means what you want it to mean. Like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to spell it out for you. It's just about this little thing, and you take from that what you want.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool thing. Like, he doesn't, and not everything is a world-spanning event, and even if it is, sometimes it's through the lens of a singular character where it doesn't have enormous ramifications.
Yeah.
It has personal ramifications, and you don't even fully comprehend what those mean because it's just to that character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
I can't think of many writers that I get that from.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
a lot of them are more big picture,
Right.
or they spell it out more. And
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think Gaiman spells things out very often.
No.
No.
Sometimes he does, and you can pick it out immediately. You're like, okay, it's like a Goldilocks and the Three Bears type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then other ones, you're just like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
And then those are the ones I think about, where I'm like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Well,
What's that mean to me?
And
Keeps
what-
you up at night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I
Yeah.
liked specifically about this one is that like he gives you the instance of this one boy, but like you know that this is happening on Earth. So the more you think about it, the more you extrapolate on that in your own mind.
Yeah.
Like that's where he's not spelling it out for you. You're like, This is happening to everyone everywhere, and now you know why death is so, like, frantic, because people want to kill themselves because all these dead people are
There's
back.
a reason she's in workout gear. She's
Yeah.
working the fuck out right now.
Exactly.
And you're like, is this worse for everyone, or is this worse for this poor kid who's alone among a bunch of ghosts?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was good. Are we all, like, becoming big Neil Gaiman fans?
I think we are.
I think we are.
I mean, I was pretty adamant on being like, he's okay. He's not for me. But this read is kind of winning me over.
The awards,
all right.
the awards are paying off.
Yes, they speak for themselves.
Yeah.
We're way over time and over budget on this one, but we have a voicemail. We have
Hey,
one
guys,
voicemail.
We got a voicemail. Can we play that?
Yeah, Paul, we can play the voicemail. Hold on to your horses.
Do you want to cue us to the voicemail?
Yeah, we got one voicemail from a friend of the show, our Canadian correspondent, Sam, and he gave us some amazing insight on our last volume, and he's bringing in some more here. So let's hear Sam's take on this volume.
Gangway, amigos! Shouted a pantsless magician on a witch's broom. My favorite panel of this whole volume, and an encapsulation of an aspect of Neil Gaiman's writing and personality that has been absent from the Sandman. Apart from the few issues I've shit on, of course. That thing is whimsy. If you said this volume is Morpheus, journeys to hell to free Nada's soul, it's true. But it's so subverted that it ends up just being a dinner party where Morpheus regifts an unwanted present to some fuckers who didn't even want it. The stakes don't feel as dire as previous volumes. Even though the denizens of hell are literally walking the earth, the dead have risen, they exist. And the way you see this is a representation of death wearing a super cute workout clothes and being in a fucking hurry and a mad panic. It's well written, apart from the naming of Daniel Hall, which rings so falsely, I dare say that moment is hack. Not sure how much of this volume will stick with me besides Lucifer's denouement of shutting down hell like a bar at 3 a.m. Brilliant. The Lord of Chaos being a little girl with undiagnosed ADHD. Brilliant. Teeth Titty Demon. The fuck. Lots to like, little to not. Speaking of lots to like, the prologue with the Endless coming together, that's the high point of this volume for me. The characterizations, the description, and the behaviors of the Endless is fascinating, endearing, and filled with perfectly executed profundity. Especially that destiny is choice. Things like despair is something you see in the mirror. Like, what the fuck? Genius stuff. Nailed it. Gold star, Gaiman. You're good to go. The thing that I love, though, that I went down a real dumb rabbit hole on was the word balloons of the Endless, and noticing that destiny and death have very human speech, leaning into what I'm seeing is the implied conceit that the Endless are shaped by us. None more than death, but second being destiny. And the least knowable of us, and therefore the least affected by us, at least I think, as seen in their word balloon, is Dream. That alone is so intriguing, it will keep me reading till the end of the series. Oh, and DC, next reprint of this, please change the language around desire, because she, he, and it are fucking awful to read. Just use they and them. It's not complicated.
Producer Paul just rushing back from the bathroom. Literally dripping urine across the floor as he trails in. My word.
He's good.
Thumbs up, he's good.
Yeah.
Everything come out all right?
It's still in him, I think.
All right, sweet.
All right. So no,
Yeah, well
very
said,
good
Sam.
insight. You pissed too. You didn't listen to it. He did mention the word balloons, though, of all the endless, which was interesting. He said the deities of destiny and death were the most human because they probably had the most contact with humanity, and the one that was the most far removed was Dream himself, which is all in black and all caps.
Yeah.
Interesting take.
Delirium's pretty weird, too.
Delirium is
Yeah.
fucked up. But I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah. Sam put in a lot of good points. I'm glad. I don't know. He says, like, I don't know how much it was going to stick with him throughout. That might be true, like, because this whole thing is kind of resolved in this trade.
And it's like one thing, where I feel like a lot of the other volumes, I think, like, the Doll's House
Yeah.
was like, oh, it was, the Dream Vortex.
Yeah.
But it was also the Serial Killer Convention.
Yeah.
And it was also the Corinthian. It was this and this. I'm like, oh shit, a lot happened in that.
Yeah.
And it was Nada, the first introduction to her. Whereas this one is pretty much just this.
Yeah.
He goes to hell, and then he has the key.
Yep. Yeah. I still really enjoyed this, though.
Me too.
Regardless of what Sam thought. I enjoyed it. And the one last note I have before we want to take off, because we're running way over time. But does anyone get reminded of freaking Duran Duran album covers from The Endless? They
Kelly
all
Jones,
look.
yes. Yes.
They all look like freaking the cover of Rio.
Yeah.
I cannot not see that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I don't know who influenced who there, but
They're all looking great.
they're looking amazing, and they're all dancing on the sand. My God.
yeah. So good.
Very well said.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can follow that up with anything more
Poignant.
poignant
Very
than
good.
that. So that's it.
Yeah.
We're winding it down. This was a good read.
Yeah.
Very
We
good
thank
read.
everybody for joining in
Yeah.
on this DreamStream journey
Yes.
with us.
Yeah.
We're going to come back in a month for Volume 5,
Yeah.
A Game of You.
EWE, like the female
the
sheep.
It is a female-centric story, so yes.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
All right, it's the plot of Babe. Great.
I looked up a bit of trivia on that, and Neil Gaiman says this next one is his favorite because it is everyone else's least favorite.
All right.
So-
Somebody's holding a candle for it. All
so
right.
we
yeah.
will see what
We'll
there is
see.
to see on that one.
Okay.
And he said, like, he tends to kind of categorize his works in masculine or feminine tones, and he says the Doll's House was feminine, and this one is feminine.
Okay.
That's like the vibe
Okay.
from it. So
Okay.
we'll see what we got on that one.
All right, I dig it.
Sweet.
And that is the last one that I have read previously.
Okay.
All right.
So after
sweet.
that, it's all uncharted territory.
That'll be
Oh,
awesome.
My word.
Looking forward to the rest of it.
That's right. So thank you to all our patrons out there who've been so graciously supporting what we do.
Yeah.
We did all this before anyone felt the need to donate to us, but man, does it help the medicine go down
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
We can hire a Paul.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can hire Paul.
And if you want to support the show, you can check out our Patreon. We've got various tier levels with a variety of rewards.
Yeah.
And you also get access to our Discord, which we just chat about stuff like
Anything.
this
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day long.
Yep.
And if you want to wear some sexy merch like we all have here, or I do, you can check out our Redbubble shop where we have a variety of stuff. Keep your eye out for some Imperius Rex merch coming soon. But look at that. You see the DreamStream tank right there. You can get a DreamStream shirt. You can support. If you've been reading this, you owe it to yourself to get yourself a DreamStream.
I'm gonna get a DreamStream shirt.
There it is.
Me
too.
Paul, you just drunk on his piss that he just had. He's just living life.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
The stream. We got an outro.
that's it. What?
outro.
Are we done?
Yeah, well, let's wrap it up.
Oh, but we're getting the wrap up.
sign. All right, let's do it.
Time soon.
Oh, okay. My next note was to thank PK, but if we gotta wrap it up, we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
But also thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Sorry to hold you past your bathroom break in curfew. You're a champ. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah.
This was fun.
It was
Sure
really
was.
fun. Can't wait for Volume 5.
That's right.
Same.
All right, everybody. Good night and pleasant dreams.
You bet.
I've been
Cheers.
Dinosaur Neil.
I've been.
He has been Dinosaur Neil.
God damn it. I usually start it, now I'm fucked.
I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
And I've been Ghost Hunter Dave
We'll see you next time.
on Imperius Rex.
Bye bye.
You are now departing the Mysterious Imperius DreamStream. We hope your stay was restful and brimming with fantastic imaginings. Until next time, friends, sweet dreams and pleasant tomorrows. This has been Imperius Rex.